Sometimes loving yourself is saying like, listen, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve to be in this situation, in this very moment. The skin that you're in, you have to love that. You have to embrace that. What are those little things that sets your heart on fire? I mean, that's a bit poetic, but what makes you happy to do something?
Letting go, yeah, it isn't easy. Two hearts slowly breaking. Living the highs and lows, I'm keeping busy. Don't know if we're worth saving. Are we meant to be, or are we second guessing? Would you stay with me if the world was ending?
My soul got kicked in. I was like, no such thing as a life that's better than yours. No such thing as a life that's better than yours. What's good and welcome to it. My name is Solo and welcome to the SolowSays YouTube channel. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for choosing to spend some time with me. A lot in my previous videos about, especially the one that I recently dropped, toxic relationships. I'll leave a link for it, so you should go check that out. Yeah, but in that video as well, I was talking about you have to first and foremost love yourself before you can even put yourself in a relationship. And also I spoke about it in healthy relationships, keys to healthy relationship, and I'll also leave something up for that, so you can also go check that out. I got you. I'ma guide you, Solo. Period. Yeah, so if you do want to go check those out, you can. But in those videos, I was saying that it's very important to first have a relationship with yourself, and then after having a relationship with yourself, after you've cultivated that love relationship with yourself, you get to love another person, or you then are able to enter a holistic relationship with those around you. So on today's video, we are going to be talking about how you get from A to B to see yourself to glory, and that's how you embrace your self-love journey. So if you are interested in that, do stick around, but without further ado, let's get into it. So you already saw by when I started, I was singing that song, J. Cole, No Such Thing as a Life That's Better Than Yours. That's the first song that kind of comes to my mind when I think about self-love. Well, like an olden track that comes to mind when I think about self-love, because he truly says it in that song. You understand that embrace the love that you have, because there's no such a thing as a life that is better than yours. And I want us to first start off by noting that before we can fill up a cup of another, we need to fill up our own cups. Yes, in this world, it's a beautiful thing to have people around you, to be there for people, to stand there for people, to give yourself to people. But if you are an empty cup, you can never fill up another. On another video that I'm gonna link, but I did it with Chico, shout out to her, but she was also saying in our video when we were talking about sex talk, she was talking about you can't fill up another if your cup is empty. And it all comes back to that. You cannot fill up another person if you have an empty cup. Doing good is a beautiful thing, but if you can't do it from a space of being full, then you will automatically suffer. And I know some people could be like, but Solo, I got this, I got that, I have to take care of this, I have to take care of this person, this person, this person. At the end of the day, cultivating a relationship with yourself, it's not easy, because if it was, I think everybody would be doing it. And the things that are most beneficial take the most work and discipline. So when it comes to having this relationship with yourself, it needs to be very intentional and it needs to be continuous. You need to discipline yourself. And I know discipline attached to loving yourself might be contradictory, because it's like, if I love myself, why do I need to discipline myself to love myself? Because I just love myself, you understand? And if it doesn't come that hard for you, then shout out to you. But for some people, it's like, I have this to do, I have this to do, and my life is just an array of things. So like, I don't have time to just sit down and chill in a bubble bath, and play my favorite tracks. But I think it's more than that. And the word discipline is very intentional, because you need to constantly remind yourself that you are not just a go, 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 go. You are not just always achieving, thriving, doing this for that, doing this for this person, you understand? There needs to come a time where you're like, okay, this is me time, some people are parents, so this is mom's time, this is dad's time, this is sister's time, this is cousins, but mom, this is my time. You understand? There's always needs to be time where it's your time, There always needs to be time for your time, for me time, and we're going to be getting into why that is important and how you can get that on. So number one, what it means to have a healthy relationship with yourself. Our relationship with ourselves is crucial because firstly, we are born with ourselves and we die with ourselves. I know that might be a bit like dark and daunting, like, wow, geez, Shola. But it's the truth. You come into this world alone. You gonna go out of this world by yourself, you know, but we're not at the finish line. If you're watching this video, you're probably still with us, you understand? But like inevitably, when you close your eyes on this earth, it's going to be you, yourself, me, myself, and I. That's all I got in the air. That's what Beyonce said. So at the end, like when you're chilling, it's gonna be like, wow, did I love myself enough? Did I do enough for myself? Did I show up for myself? Was I authentic in myself? Because tomorrow is not promised. And if you don't embrace who you are today, and you unfortunately something happens and tomorrow comes, you will not have lived a full life, you know? And it looks different for everyone, and we'll get into like what different types of self-love is, but the relationship that you have with yourself is first and foremost. Until I learned about what a healthy relationship with self looks like, I really did not rate myself. So for a lot of the relationships that I found myself in the past, relationships that didn't value me, I didn't value myself, I sometimes didn't value the people that I was with, and sometimes, you know, I did come across people who were like, no, this is what I deserve and this is what you're gonna give me, otherwise deuces. And I came across people who didn't love themselves and didn't know themselves. So it was like a balance. But one thing that I can say is like a majority of the relationships that I found myself in, I played small. I played lesser than what I was. And it doesn't mean that when you step into who you are, you like, everybody move, coming through. It's more of like, I don't need to put up with this. I don't need to give away my sanity. I don't need to prioritize another person's state of mind. I need to protect my peace. And sometimes you are so detached from yourself that you put yourself in situations that causes you stress, anxiety, leaves you broke, busted, and disgusted, and it places you in places that you don't want to be in. But it's because you don't love yourself enough. And sometimes loving yourself is saying like, listen, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve to be in this situation, and I don't deserve to be doing this to myself. Because sometimes it's not even about how other people treat you, but it's about how you treat yourself. So when you learn the keys of a healthy relationship, not only is it the skills you can take out into the real world and practice, but it's the skills that you can practice with yourself. But I might be getting ahead of myself. So you understand? Self-abuse is a thing, you know, like a lot of the times it's like so-and-so like I used to stay in that mindset of victim consciousness, like this person did this to me, this person did this to me. And you know, a lot of the times people do bad things to us, you know, we are in unfortunate situations, but some of the situations that I found myself in was self-inflicted. You know, I saw that going to so-and-so's, you know, after party wasn't gonna be my best interest, but I went anyway. I saw that, you know, mingling with this type of person was not in my best interest, but I did it anyway. I saw that this drug, this bev was, you know, not in my best interest, but I did it anyway. And I was abusing myself because I didn't know my own boundaries. I didn't know what like I needed. I didn't know what I actually wanted out of life. And I mean, still learning. I mean, it never stops, but like I'm at a better place where I can understand myself and I can understand what I need and what I don't value and what I don't want in my life. And it's only through learning about what a healthy relationship with self is that I'm able to now go out there in the world and be like, okay, if you don't want to accept me, I accept me, and that's cool. You understand? Anyways, the healing journey is about learning yourself entirely and accepting where and who and where you have come from, even your fallen shorts, and actively working to change or improve certain aspects. So yes, it's exactly that. The healing journey and learning to love yourself is accepting yourself, flaws and alls. Flaws and all. When you, maybe if you want to, you can go listen to my podcast. So perfect time to plug my podcast. If you do want to give my podcast to listen, I'll leave the link for it in the description. But there was a podcast episode, maybe an episode ago or 2 episodes ago from this video, that I spoke about loving the skin that you're in and loving the body that you're in. And I know there are some people who are like, Solo, don't perpetuate that story of people just loving themselves, you know, because that's like a you sabotaging people because you're telling them not to work on themselves. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that in this very day, watching me right now, you are in the body that you are in, and you cannot change it with the snap of a finger. It's a process, and it's a gradual one at that. So in this very moment, the skin that you're in, you have to love that. You have to embrace that, no matter what you look like. Because I mean, there is no perfect person. There is no perfect way of living life. There's only a way that is perfect for you, and that enhances the way that you feel about yourself. So if you look at yourself and you laugh, Solo, people have said this is wrong about me, but you know what? To this day, I love it. For me, I'm gonna say my forehead. Now I'm drawing attention to it. Oh my goodness. But yeah, like I know I got a forehead, you understand? I know that. But like when I was like younger, it used to be such a thing. Like, oh my goodness, I wanted to hide it and stuff like that. But when I just learned that I am the only me there is in this world, I cannot change me top to bottom. I mean, I could if I really wanted to, but like the body that I was born with, this is what I have, and this is what I have to learn to love right now, because I can't change anything about me right now. Yeah, like forehead and all, love me some me. Yeah, so whatever you feel like maybe is your downfall, you need to turn that around and see it as like a positive. And this takes time. I know some people are like, no, Solo, I mean, this is deep-rooted self-loathing, you know, it's deep, like, which is why we're here today. And this is why we're going to speak about these things, because I feel like, you know what, you can have 10,000 things wrong with you, but that does not mean that you're not worthy of love, either from another person or worst of all from yourself. You are the only one that sits with you. You know you from A to B to this point that you see yourself in right now. So why wouldn't you love yourself? Unless, I mean, there's no reason why you wouldn't love yourself, no matter what you got going on, because you are the only one that can love you entirely. And then another person can come help you continuously, fully to a cup that's already full. Next of all, learning about self is learning how to be whole within self and pulling all the different parts of self back into alignment. When you learn to love yourself and when you learn to pay attention to who you are, little things start to come out. We're like, wow, I didn't know I had that in me. Wow, I didn't know that was a part of me. And it's like actually sometimes being intentional about what you love to do. What are those little things that sets your heart on fire? I mean, that's a bit poetic, but what makes you happy to do something? You know, like, is it doing makeup? Is it cooking? Is it reading? Is it riding a bike? Is it deep sea diving? Is it surfing? Is it skating? What is it that sets your heart on fire? That thing that gets you going. Because the minute you start embracing things that you love to do, it tells yourself that I love you, so I am doing things that you love. The more you pay attention and you feel into things that makes you feel good, the more you feel good. And it starts to show not only externally, but internally. You start to change, you know, mentally as well. Because in this world, you know, it's so easy to prioritize other people's, you know, opinions, other people's do's and don'ts of life. But it's so rare that someone's like, you know what, I wanted to do this for me. To hell with everybody else, you know. For me, the longest thing that I wanted to do, and I still want to do it, but I mean, I am working towards it and I'm holding myself accountable for before 2021 ends. I want to take myself to like a bomb museum. So yeah, like that's something that I've always wanted to do, but I always put it in the back burner because I put other people's plans before my plans, you know. It would be a day where I'd be like to my friend, like, yo, let's go to the museum. That's just me, child. I'm boring. Jokes. But yeah, like, sometimes I'd be like, okay, instead of us like going to have drinks, or instead of us going to like this restaurant or whatever, let's just go to the club. I mean, let's just go to the museum, you understand? And in the beginning of the day, we would be in agreement, like, nah, we're gonna get to the museum. Don't worry, Solo, we're gonna get to the museum. And the whole day would go by and we would find ourselves in like another place. And it's also, I don't blame my friend, I blame myself for not speaking up from what I wanted. So you need to start doing the things that you love to do more, so that it helps you embrace you and love you and see that you put yourself as a priority. Moving right along, we've been taught by society to continuously take care of others, and other people's needs get neglected and our needs get neglected. You understand? But the first relationship you have is the relationship with self. You know what? In communities that we grow up in, sometimes in our families, and I always talk about this, and I'm probably going to talk about it more until the cows come home, about families and enmeshment. That you're in a family system sometimes that says you gotta care for everybody else. You gotta make sure that everybody else is happy before you are happy. But unfortunately, that is a lie, and those are illusions. Yes, we take care of the people that we love. Yes, we try to help the people that we love, but it doesn't matter what role you play in that family. Your life is valuable as well. Your needs and desires are valuable as well. And if you are constantly running on empty but full on everybody else's needs, there's an imbalance. There's no duality in your life. And if you are giving to one side more than you give to the other, you are not balanced. And with imbalance, there's no way of truly moving forward, So, I mean, sometimes, you have to take care of people or whatever, but like there are times where you just got to be like, I need to do me. And in doing these things, you need to communicate with those around you, and that's where you develop good communication skills. And that's like a whole nother thing. But like, you need to communicate to people and tell them like, listen, I feel like I'm overwhelmed. I feel like I'm starting to feel a bit depressed. I'm starting to get into the state of just pessimism. And I think I need to take a day for myself. I need to take a day to reflect. I need to take a day to get back to my center, or a week or whatever, just to focus on me. Is that okay? And communicate. But if you're in a household that's like very selfish, then that's like a whole nother different thing, and that's like a whole nother different lane, But like, I think if you're privileged enough to be in a space where you can just be like, I feel like I'm running on empty, and the people around you understand, and they want to see you in a happy space. So they don't punish you for being vulnerable, but instead they give you the space that you need. So moving right along, before I was aware of my needs, I was a person who constantly tried to downplay my needs. You understand? So when people would be like, you know what, Unati, do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? I would rather be like, how is this going to make this person feel? How is this going to make me look? How are they going to look at me? I couldn't show up authentically. I couldn't show up as myself. And I think that is a big part of why people suffer, because they do not know how to be authentically themselves. And being authentically yourself is kind of thrown around, every single day, like, be you because you are beautiful, or just be yourself, no one else will, that type of thing. And it's very easy to say, but when you put it in the real world, and you try to ground that thought, it's literally just like, what you want to do, when you want to do it, how you want to do it, what you want to say, where you want to go. But the minute you put that knowing and feeling aside, and you choose something that doesn't feel good, isn't what you want, doesn't resonate with you, that's when you're not acting in your true self. Your true self doesn't have to be an angel. Your true self doesn't have to be perfect. Your true self doesn't have to constantly get everything right and get it perfect. Your true self just chooses you, and that's the only you that you've got. The fake and the pretense and the phony energy comes out when you try to be someone that you're not, instead of just being yourself. I've played the people pleaser for such a long time to know that I got no Grammy, no award, no special mention, nothing. I didn't even get $1 million in the bank. Like, I actually got a negative, like, more than anything, based on trying to please people and not be myself. And it's an everyday journey, because I feel like as much as I'm so much better at it at this point in my life, there was a time where I was just like, for the people, like in a bad way, man. And I've come a long way to know that, like, now if you don't like me, I mean, that's on you. I don't show up negatively, because I know some people are like, they the worst, they like a prick or something, and then it's just like, well, this is who I am. Except, no, child, that's something else. But like, if like, okay, Solo loves to be a little, childish at times. That's just me. Like, I'm not hurting anybody, and I'm just being me, But being yourself is not at the expense of other people's happiness, other people's joy, other people's anything, So realizing and applying help. Okay, so that's it. Oh, Sorry, I'm all over the place. So there's this quote that I have and that I really like, and it says that it's from Shireen Pathak. I'm butchering her name, but I'm so sorry, Shireen. But she says, the same wisdom that can turn an acorn into an oak tree is also here supporting you and your life. So after realizing and actually, appreciating that force that is within me, and it helped me love myself, and it helped me connect with myself more, and it helped me connect to something great, and it helped me to know that I'm supported, that the same force that causes the birds to sing, and the wind to wind, and the rains to rain, and the eagle to fly, and the butterfly to soar, is the same spirit that is within you. Some people call it God, I call it God, other people call it spirit, divine force. That energy that is out there in the world that causes you and me to be alive every single day is within all of us. And that was kind of the most profound thing that I received an epiphany or like that whoa moment. And it was also on one of my trips, excuse me, on one of my in my favorite rocket ship later on. Yeah, I mean, that's like a whole nother video. But like, one of the realizations that I came to was like, I'm just a person, I came onto this earth, and like I can't change anything about life. Life is life. Life is the way that it is. And the only thing that I can do is love the life that I have and love the life that is within me. And every single day when I'm just like, I'm alive, and that's a beautiful thing of creation, that like the thing that just keeps us going is our breath, and the breath is within all of us. So you can't weigh breath. There's no better breath than the other breath, and that's life. There's no better life than the other life. Yes, there are those who are comfortable, and I'm not even going to get into that, but I feel like the most important thing to know is that you are just a person, and there's only so much you can do, and there's only so much you can like change about life. And waking up every day not loving the body that you're in and feeling disgusted about who you are, and wishing and envying someone else, I want to be them. First of all, you don't even know what that person's going through. You don't even know what it takes to be in that person's shoes. With everything that's going on in the world, we look at Instagram, we look at all these social media platforms, and people perpetuate certain lifestyles. And even me right here, like I have a different life when I'm off camera. Not like different, but I mean like right now, one of my gowns is on the bed, all like crumpled up, and my pens are all over, and my fan is lying down, and my slops are just there. My mat is like crumpled up, and but I'm not showing you that because I'm showing you this. So even this mindset that I'm gonna look at this person, I'm gonna be like, I wish I was in their shoes, I wish I had their life. Like, we are human, it does happen, but the one thing we need to do is pull ourselves out of that and just be like, I don't know what it takes to be that person, and the only life I have is mine, because no such thing as a life that's better than yours. You only have one life. Like, if we could do that, like, I don't like this body, I'm just gonna hop into I'm gonna hop into a billionaire's body. But no, I'm kidding. I'd hop into a monk's body. No, but like, you can't change the body that you're in, and you just have to love yourself. If you got skew eyes, you've got skew eyes. Like, if you got a limp, you've got a limp. Like, if you're short, you're short. If you're tall, you're tall. Like, there are things that people be like, but we can change this about ourselves. And if that's what you want to do, and that helps you to love yourself a little more, then do that. But if you feel like you need to be pressured into loving yourself because of the ideologies and the opinions of people in this world who are also low-key not loving themselves, because it's not worth it. Like, truly, it's really not worth it, because we only know what people show on camera, and we don't know what goes on behind the scenes. So even looking at other people's lives and wanting that life for yourself, it's so limiting, because the life that you have is already beautiful, and there's something unique about you that nobody else has. And if you were any different, or you were the same as anyone else, that wouldn't be life. We all just counterfeits when you could just be the real deal. So I want to like maybe challenge you, or I don't know. When people tell me that in videos, I'm just like, I hear you. But I mean, I don't know. It might be good for you, or it might not be good for you. But I want to challenge you to every single day just write something that you might like about yourself, or that you feel like people say they like about you, and just go back to that, or just pick a day or a moment and just write down 5 things and then read it every single day to remind yourself. You know, in the beginning of my self-love journey, I wrote like these things. At the time I was writing it, I was like, this is so stupid. I am beautiful. Oh, I'm funny. Oh, like it was such a jag. But I took the advice that I was given, and I stuck the sticky notes like above my bed. So when I woke up, I could see them. When I go to bed, I could see it. And to this day, like, I still remember some of those things, and I still appreciate that I did that for myself, because now when I can truly say that I'm kind of beautiful, I can, you know, I feel that because it started cementing itself into my subconscious. So I think doing that will be very helpful for you. But if you don't want to do that, you can also play like things that tell you those things, or you can just surround yourself with the right people, because I think the people we surround ourselves with sometimes also perpetuates a certain ideology. If you surround yourself with people who don't love themselves and secretly low-key have low self-esteem, you are also probably going to do that, because you are the product of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So if you cultivate and you cultivate time for yourself, and you spend time with people who also love themselves, who also choose themselves, you'll start to love yourself more and choose yourself more, you know. But it's a journey, and these things take time. You know, always look within yourself. It's not always about lighting a bubble bath, and, you know, which is beautiful. I mean, you know, taking that shower, getting hot, and just rubbing yourself with cream. And if you're a guy, I mean, unwind. I don't know, I'm just a girl. But whatever you guys do to unwind and whatnot, like doing those things, you know. If it's you listening to an audiobook, do that. If it's you playing a game, do that. If it's you running, do that. If it's you just mellowing out on Netflix, don't do that too much, but I mean, do that. You know, just take some time, maybe every single day, to just appreciate yourself and to love yourself. Listen to some music, kick back, remind yourself about who you are. And you are beautiful, you are divine, you are lovely, you are kind. I mean, if it's not for you, if I'm not naming you, no, I'm kidding. We are all beautiful, we are all divine, and we are all worthy of love inside and out. So love yourself before you can look for love in another or anything up. For your own cup first. So yeah, that's all Solo has to say for this YouTube video. If you did like my vibe, please do subscribe, like, and comment and all that good stuff. But do know that wherever you are in the world, I hope that you have a lovely day, and that you remember that you are a blessing to yourself and to those around you.